not too much. I feel like I have too much light coming from that side. Okay, Google, turn off the lamp.
Okay, turning off the lamp.
That's a little better, right? That's not as like crazy. Let me just get a little adjustment here and make sure we're all good to go. I started this live stream a little bit early because I was just kind of sitting here, and I'm really afraid to show you this because I'm afraid she's gonna move, but I have my darling little pup just kind of chilling on my lap here. Oh, my little Phoebe. She's snuggled up in a blanket that I got for Christmas, and she immediately claimed as hers. I think it's the material. It's like very, very soft and kind of like plush. So she feels like she's, look at her. She's so cute. I love her. Her little face. Boop. So that's what I got going on here. I'm going to try and kind of keep still because I'd like for her to just cuddle me during the live stream. Let me see. Hi, Asha. Hi, Victoria. Welcome. Welcome to this week's Witchy Book Club. So I'm going to start off and preface by saying I wasn't really feeling it this morning. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I really try and always have a good, like, positive mindset around it. Okay. I got a phone call, but then it kind of disconnected me, and my phone out the internet. It says that I have enough bars. There should be no reason why the internet disconnects me. Maybe it's a sign because I'm really tired. I don't know what it was. Maybe somebody else can relate to this. I think I know what it was. But I had a really hard time falling asleep last night. I as well know that George had a hard time falling asleep last night. You are so precious, Phoebe. I love you. She's so cute. I just could not fall asleep last night. George couldn't either. We were tossing and turning. We would like stop talking, and then I would start talking. And then he would talk with me. Like, we have a lot of big things coming up. So, we were discussing a lot of that. Like, him and I are both traveling for 2.5 weeks for my muggle job. So we're going to be down in Florida. There's a lot to consider. I'm going to be doing 2 different exhibitions in 2 different parts of Florida. So I'll be on the east side of the state for a week with him and doing a fine art exhibition for the gallery that I work at. And then we pack it all up and we go to the west side of the state, and we're there for about a week and a half doing another whole weekend of events. And it's a big thing. So it's like we were talking about how to pack, because I have 2 full exhibitions. I need takedown clothes. I need like workout clothes so that I can set up and take down shows. I need professional sales floor clothes to look nice while the exhibition is running. I need regular clothes. So it's just like a lot of planning to make sure we don't forget anything. Luckily, we're going to have the second half of the trip, we're going to be in a house. So there'll be like a washer and dryer, so we could always plan to just wear same outfits twice, things like that. But there's just a lot to prepare and to keep in mind because we leave next week Monday. So we're kind of trying to, like, I don't know, I just think we both had a lot on our minds, as well as I had some vegan ice cream really late. And I don't really do like crazy sugar like that. I'm more of like a carbs gal. So whenever I have like a mass amount of sugar, it really wires me up, and I kind of should have known better. So I could feel the like sugar rush that I had trying to fall asleep. So I am like really genuinely exhausted, and I'm kind of upset about it because there's a lot I got to get done today. So Victoria says, I was up late watching Once Upon a Time, not talking about the night before. So I used to watch Once Upon a Time, and then I just kind of like slowly fell out. I think it was the season with the Frozen. Not that it was bad, it just, I think it just didn't grip me as much as the other seasons, but for a while there, I like loved it. Don't move. You're so sweet. Don't move. I would love to cuddle you for this live stream. People who are just coming in, do you guys want to see what's going on in my lap situation? dum. Teacher Phoebe. Oh, my sweetie. This sweater is making me look like I'm ginormous. It's just really baggy on me. She's so sweet. Okay, coming back up and reading the comments. This is going to be a very chill and probably not very long of a live stream for this book. And I'm sorry, but I have some things to say. Always. Don't doubt that I don't have things to say, because I do. Madeline said, oh my God, I could not fall asleep last night either. It was horrible. I don't know what it was, girl. I know George feels the same. I could feel him restless, really restless. What part of Florida? I'm in Florida on the East Coast. So I will be in West Palm Beach for the first week. I leave next Monday, and I will be in West Palm Beach until the following Monday. So like exactly a week, I think. And then I drive over to Sarasota. We stay in Sarasota, but we will also be doing events in St. Petersburg and Sarasota. So we'll be kind of going back and forth for the next week, depending on what events are where. If you guys are in that area, as I can see some of you are commenting, know that I would love to hang out. That might be a possibility, so hit me up, but it is a very small possibility because I am there for work, and there is the hours when I travel for work, I've mentioned this before, are like almost illegal. So it's like most of the time we're working from like 8 in the morning till like 11 at night. And sometimes even later than that. So by the time we get home, it's like done. A lot of the times we don't get like time to even go out and get food. We all just kind of like order food and eat in the exhibition space or what have you. So not that it's a no, but if there is like a day or like a couple hours or something, like if you guys want to hang out, hit me up. That might be a possibility, but it's slim chance. Although this year they're sending George home a few days earlier, and I do believe the last few days I'll be there might be a better chance. Like after the exhibition is technically closed, I'll be staying for about 4 more days to help with takedown and things and deliveries of artwork to clients that have purchased pieces and that live locally in the area. So yeah, that is that. Also, please don't come and stalk and kill me. That would be like totally a bummer, you know? But if you want to be friends and I'm down there and there's time, like let's hang out. But there's just a lot to prep for, I think. Last year I did this 2.5 week stint, double shows on either side of the state. And I did it by myself. So it was a lot. And then they sent me back down for the GAS conference, which is the Glass Alliance Society. It's a big glass art thing that they put on every year, and it's in a different location every year. And it just so happened to be in St. Petersburg, Florida last year, where we have one of our galleries. So that is that. Enough personal stuff. Oh, she's precious. Thank you. I think my coffee is done brewing. Coffee. I know. I was like, I made myself this like beautiful smoothie this morning, and I was starving when I woke up, and I ate the whole thing, and I was like, ooh, I feel good. Maybe I won't have any coffee. And then like an hour later, I'm like, okay, coffee it is. So let's talk about this book that we're finishing up for today, Out of Your Hands by Belletta Greenaway. We had such a freaking fun live stream. That sounds like a lot of fun. I hope the trip is a lot of fun, even though it has work in it. I always manage to find time for some sort of fun, or I make fun out of it. I think it's very draining to do these traveling for the gallery. Although it is such a freaking blessing, because when you're an artist and you are going to school and you either want to have your own artwork on display in galleries, or you just want to be submerged into the world of art, this situation that I'm in is pretty much like a dream. So it's crazy to think that I manifested that and made that a reality for myself. And you know, I have so many dreams. I have so many things that I want. However, I think that it is such a small percentage of people who are able to be in the career that I'm in, and submerged into the fine art world and get to travel and get to do exhibitions and meet these world famous artists and things like that. And I definitely do not take that for granted. However, it does not like dismiss the toll that traveling and doing these exhibitions, especially for 2.5 weeks, like in a row, will take on you mentally, physically, and emotionally. Because it is a lot of energy. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of mingling. It's a lot of physical labor, as well as, being on. You're turned on all the time, which, as you guys know, I'm pretty good at, but everybody needs a break and a rest. So to go from, one show to the next and nonstop, morning till night for 2.5 weeks in a row, is like, it's pretty hard not to like get sick or to, come back complaining. So, but the cool thing this year is, with all that aside, and I would love to talk more about my muggle job, as I call it, or the job that I have at the gallery. It's just really difficult for me to do that because I enjoy so much having it be separate, from this space, because I feel like my sanity depends on it. However, there is a video that I've been wanting to make concerning my day job, and why I have it still, and why I don't just go full time right now into, my spiritual business, because I do make quite a considerable amount of money in both avenues, and I'm very grateful for that. However, I could jump ship on either one of those, and it would be more beneficial probably for my energy. But there's certain things, and I think I'm so rambly because we're not even talking about the book right now, but that's fine, right? You guys don't care. Do you care? Maybe not. I don't know. I think there's this thing in the spiritual community, especially when you want to have your own business based around spiritual practices, whether it's, divination services or apothecary items, or, healing sessions, whatever, counseling sessions, whatever it is in the spiritual community. There is this stigma that if you're doing it and you also have a day job, that you're not as like advanced, or you're not as like high up in the rung as other people are if they're able to do things full time. It like shows weakness. I feel like maybe that's just how I've been perceiving it, but I've seen, I think people who have jumped into the spiritual business full time get a little bit more recognition and like higher up on the rung of how we see them, because we think that they must be doing it better because they're a job. And I find that my spiritual business is absolutely affected in a more positive way right now with me keeping this smuggle job. And my video that I wanted to make was sort of talking about that, but it's like the top 5 things that my muggle job is teaching me about having a spiritual business. And when I look at it that way, when I look at having a day job and like a, a 9 to 5 type situation, although the art gallery is definitely not like a typical 9 to 5 job, but it is at the same time. I think that, if I look at it that way and I make content in that way of top 5 things that my art job or my muggle job is teaching me about running my own business, that is like such magic. And I think it also would maybe allow other people to kind of like loosen up the expectations on themselves to be like, snowballing their spiritual business enough so they can jump ship on their day job. It's really, really easy when we're being led by other people. Wow, I'm so ranty and preachy right now, but this is a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a while, so I guess now is the time. There's so much expectation to jump ship from a day job, especially especially if it's not something that we're passionate about, because we don't want to be led by other people. We don't want to work around people we don't like. We want to get paid what we want to get paid. And oftentimes these factors are not something that are all harmonious in a situation of a day job. Or else we wouldn't be seeking other business ventures, right? So I feel like to loosen up the kind of like the stress or the expectation that we need to have a solid spiritual business right now, and that we can't learn and grow anything from this horrible day job that we might be having, whether it's just to pay the bills, or maybe we've been in it for years and years and we feel stuck, or maybe it is something that we like but we just want to like what we do more. There's so many things that I am grateful for with this day job, this job at the art gallery, that has directly made me a better businesswoman in my spiritual business. And I really think a video like that would not only help maybe somebody else, but definitely help me sit down and think about what that is and talk about it out loud, because it's really easy sometimes for me to be like, oh my God, I just don't want to be here right now. Like, I don't want somebody to tell me what to do, or I want to get paid this, or I want to not do this and this. Like, but there's always things with any sort of work or income where you're not going to like certain things, or you're going to have to talk with people that you don't like talking to, or you're going to have to bullet down and do your budgeting or whatever it is. And there's lots of pros to having a day job. I think that's the end of my rant. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, what are you guys saying? Were you all just being like, shut up, Sam? Let's talk about the freaking book. It's still hard work, though. Setting up a space, bringing everything, and travel, it's a lot. It is, but it is really cool as well. So I'm trying to just keep that in mind. It's great, though, that it is your passion. Part of my passion is writing. It's an ongoing endeavor, and it can encompass so many things, including the spiritual aspect. Art is no different. Everything is an expression of the divine. With writing, with art, we can reach so many more than if we work with just the spiritual aspect. I struggle with my job as a server many times. I'm stuck in survival mode, that I forget that I also love food, love serving people, but I also have to grow behind that. Oh, that's so well said. I think serving jobs are one of the least, you reap the least amount of rewards from serving jobs, I feel like, other than the benefit of the money. And even then, it's so inconsistent that it is very difficult to see that as a positive. And I feel like servers get some really difficult, like, heat on them as far as energy goes. Like, you're fast paced, you're not allowed to make any mistakes, and if you do, you know, people really react very aggressively when it comes to food. I can relate. But also, whenever I did serving jobs, I just felt like it was a lot. So yeah, I commend you. But there is a lot of pluses as well that you can find. Like you said, serving people, talking with people, being on your feet, getting exercise, things like that. Yeah. Knowing how to, it's sales, honestly. You know, a serving job is sales. The more you encourage people to enjoy the things that the restaurant or the bar has to offer, the more your bill is, and the higher your tip hopefully is, if people are doing what they need to be doing. You know, so that's why they have things like happy hour or specials or whatever. So it's your job to not only make sure that everything is right and have people are getting what makes them happy, but maybe you're introducing them to a new dessert or and that's driving your bill up. So that is still inherently teaching you sales. And who doesn't want to be sold food? I mean, out of everything you could sell, selling food is like, please. Would love to see that video when you're ready to make it. I guess this isn't even like Witchy Book Club anymore. I guess we're just talking about business. So maybe I should change the title, because I'm probably not going to talk too much about this book or what I thought was going to be the next book. I might change the title of this after it's posted. Maybe we're meant to have a little business chat, huh? Is that what this is turning into? Oh my god, Phoebe, you are so freaking cute. I could just Lenny you, but I won't because I don't want to hurt you. You guys, I can't with her. Look at her. Such a little raccoon. You're so cute. I know. I'm sorry I'm moving you all around. You're like, Mama, just let me be comfy. Okay, sorry. We interrupt this business rant to kiss our dogs. Asha said, yeah, I totally understand. For months I've been complaining about my day job, but now that I've been laid off, hard, and I wish I hadn't taken it for granted. That's very wise of you, and I'm sorry that you've been laid off. That is not cool, but I'm sure there's also gifts in that as well. Ari said there can be definitely a good balance between the two, and remembering that the benefits of each can be so different is important. Yeah. I'm also 42, and it's starting to show that I can't keep up with the hustle, but it's cool. I have other muggle areas to expand in now. My dog is snoring. Oh, she's so cute, Phoebe. I feel like here's something that I almost just like want to make this video here. So I guess I could talk about something that I'm really, I don't know. If I talk about everything I wanted to do in the video here, I still might make this video. And if you guys don't want to hear it again, then just like don't watch it. But hi, Kat and the Chaos. So one of the most incredible things about my job for me personally is being surrounded by people who have a lot of money. I come from nothing. Even when we had something, it was so far underneath something that it wasn't great. And I've talked on my channel before about how I wasn't taught proper structures, and I wasn't really given an incredible concept of money and how to earn money, how to budget money, how to save money or spend money properly, invest in myself, you know, paying off things. So for most of my 20s and early teens, when I started making income, I had no concept of what was a lot or how to get what I needed. And I had a job. The first I saw this shift was helpful was back when I was probably 19, maybe I was 20. And I was working for a hair and nail salon as a receptionist in an old money town near me. You guys know what I mean by old money? Where like there's certain kinds of sections of cities. This city had old money. So the people who lived there, a lot of them had a lot of money. And what I mean by old money is that they were, you know, born into money. A lot of them had a lot already paid for them. They never knew what having without was. So their mindset about what they deserved and how they spent their money and what they did with their money was so different than me. There's cities and stuff near me where people can have money, but it's normally new money, or they earned their money, or maybe their parents earned their money and showed them how to earn money. This city was old money. Like all these people and their family have had money, and most of them have always had money. So all these women coming into this nail salon, there were men, but mostly women, who have never lived without and always knew what money was. When you work in a hair and nail salon, you hear these conversations, and you get to learn what these people are like, and what they do and how they feel, and seeing the difference in these people coming into this hair salon and nail salon and the people that I knew in my life, in my daily life, and how wildly different it was with just the factor, because we lived just a couple cities apart. So to me, this concept of like why were these people so different than the people that I knew? And it was because they had money. And there was something very irritating and shadowy within myself for to be surrounded by these people. And I found that it was really toxic for me to work there because a lot of these people were, it was hard for me to see. I was jealous, or I didn't understand them, or I felt the things that they were complaining about were very trivial. When in reality, it was really difficult for them. But for me, I'm like, oh, it was so easy for you. But what I did notice working there was the shift in my mindset to be able to try and think bigger for myself, right? So, oh, you mean that there is a possibility to have a lifestyle out there where like the biggest thing for your week is making sure that you schedule your nail appointment each week? Like and if it doesn't, if they miss it or if whatever, it's like a big deal. Like, yes, that seems trivial, but also that mindset was something that I didn't understand before. And in return, I was I was making friends with some people that were coming in, and I ended up landing a few like babysitting, but more so nannying jobs. So there was two families that I nannied for, and I was in and going to their houses almost every day and staying there for multiple parts of the day. The one family that I did literally lived in like a castle. And they were very nice, but they still had this very like old money sense to them where it was a bit like they knew that I was like an alien in their home. And some of the things I did, or maybe some of the ways that I dressed, like didn't line up with their ways, which is fine. But being surrounded and hearing people with money, made me inspired and made me think outside of my normal constraints of what I feel that I have and I deserve, and made me feel like I had a better idea of what I could achieve. It was a little bit more damaging in this particular situation because a lot of the people were very entitled, and their ideas around money were a bit more solidified and things like that. So that was the first time that I had thought about money in that way, and being around and being in these people's homes where they're vacationing to Africa and being able to just leave on a whim and refurnish their homes every other week if they wanted to, or they would buy a set of chairs for $20,000 and then decide that it wasn't the right color, so they'd give it to a granddaughter for their home and then buy new chairs. Like, it's just that concept of money to me was opened up for the first time with this situation. What are you guys saying? Let me make sure, because I'm going to go on to something else now. I'm sorry, I just really want to love you. Don't leave me. Don't leave me be. She literally hates me right now. Are you trying to get down, or are you just trying to readjust? You're so cute. Are you trying to get down? You don't want to lay with me? Phoebes? Look at that tail. You don't want to lay with me? We're talking about business and money. Oh, okay. Goodbye. Want my help getting down? You don't. Oh, there you go, Mom. Okay. Sorry. We interrupt this rant about money to let our dogs down. Kendall, hey babe. Kendall says, same with being raised on the island around all these millionaires with big yachts and loads of money. It was hard being raised in an environment, but changed my view with hard work and honest work. Rich folks have made me restructure my views on what I need versus what I don't need, what is wasteful, what is overkill, etc. Exactly. So, sorry, it's the lighting, it's not focusing. It is what it is, guys. This is just kind of a ramble. Victoria, I grew up so poor that my family taught me to dream rich. Wow, I like the way that that was worded. And my dad liked to live off welfare. Oh, I'm sorry. My college, where a majority of the students came from old money, really changed how I viewed money. So with in between that job and the one I have currently, I worked for a lot of family-owned business. I didn't get paid very well, and the clientele that came in there was pretty low to middle class. I would say more middle class and some very blue collar people. I worked for a paint store. I worked for a theater. I worked for a plant nursery, which I freaking loved that job. I'm trying to get my stepson a job there for the summer because I freaking loved it. But it's a family-owned business. The clientele that comes in is just a surrounding city, things like that. When I landed the job at the gallery, and realized that the clientele that is coming in and that is purchasing pieces are wealthy to extremely wealthy. That's pretty much it. Wealthy to extremely wealthy. It was a huge, huge shift because most of these people are not old money people. They might have come from money, but their wealth, most of them I found, they created most of their wealth. So even though they might have come from money, they leveled themselves up even more. A lot of the people and clientele that come in are entrepreneurs or CEOs or whatever. We have a billionaire client that purchases and flies private jets, and it's like that sort of minority of wealth coming in and me getting to interact, even the exchange energetically of greeting them when they come into the gallery and me seeing like what their attitude. And I know I can't base, off of the few interactions I get off of like people with wealth, although there is a definite shift in difference. I can see the change in myself. But when I go to these exhibitions and I am supposed to turn on and, like I'm supposed to turn myself on when I go to these exhibitions and surround myself with these top fine art galleries around the world, whether it's ceramics or paintings or glass or a textile or whatever. These are the best of the best from around the world. When I go to these exhibitions, I don't work for some little rinky-dink art gallery. Like I work for a fine art, contemporary, really nice gallery. And the artwork that we sell is, a lot. So to have these people that interact, that even think about purchasing some of these pieces, me thinking, let me give you an example, and I'm going to read some comments. During one of the exhibitions, this is the kind of things that are coming in and out of my consciousness as I work, especially when I'm in the exhibition setting. I heard a woman once say, oh, gosh, there's so many beautiful pieces here. My husband's only allotting $250,000 and I just don't know how I'm going to make that work for what I see here. $250,000 for an exhibition purchase budget, and me going like, oh, like how freaking, like, will I ever make that amount of money in my life? Like, obviously I will, but I just think like, holy shit, could you, you say to yourself when you hear these things, like, could you imagine? And I've started, the longer I've worked here, because I've worked for the gallery for over 5 years now, this mindset within me going, could you imagine, starts to go, I can imagine that. I can do that. I can get myself to a place where that might be possible. Would I want to spend my money in that way? I don't think so. But I can see that lifestyle is possible because I'm hearing and I'm receiving it from somebody else that I'm around. So it creates this like shift in myself to be able to think bigger, right? And sometimes when you hear or you see things and you watch things like Jeffree Star's mansion walkthrough, you're like, holy shit, people actually live like that? But for me, it's been a motivator to say, holy shit, That's actually possible. He had nothing and he made everything. Not that I'm like promoting Jeffree Star, but it's like it's that example and that sort of mindset that I'm around constantly at my work. You know, oh, this $50,000 sculpture, you know, maybe we could send it to the Florida home. Maybe it would be better in the Chicago home, right underneath the window. Yeah, let's do that. And then just check. I mean, wow, right? Let me go back and see. Okay, Asha, the second part of her thing about college said, I was often jealous of some of my friends because they didn't have to work 2 jobs to afford school. I feel you. I did the same exact thing. And I'm still trying to pay off my student debts because of that scenario. Victoria, yeah, it's been a struggle. That's why I'm a survival mode and trying to get out of it. My journeys upon being homeless in Washington and Pennsylvania and then ending up in Oklahoma have taught me much. Wow. Rich people smell different too. They smell fancy, Kendall. That's funny. Yeah, they do. Hi, Raquel. I hope you're doing okay. Oh my God. Everyone give Raquel if you're here, but I can relate, Victoria. It's been a challenge to get out of the survival mindset. But is that a bad thing? So that's another thing we can talk about. Survival mode. I was taught survival mode. We lived paycheck to paycheck, and the mindset. Yeah, it's not, I don't know. I'm like reading comments and also thinking about how I wanted to go into this if I did, but like, you know, my parents did the best they could do, and they tried, and they still are trying for themselves to make money and to make a happy life for themselves. But we definitely lived paycheck to paycheck, and that's what I was taught how to handle money. And I still sort of live paycheck to paycheck. I'm a little bit above that right now, and I'm so grateful, but I've had to work really fucking hard to get there. And when I say I'm living a little bit above paycheck to paycheck, that little bit above is going towards debt because I am Dave Ramseying my way out of into financial freedom. And so George and I are working very hard to make sure that that above paycheck to paycheck is going towards freeing us of our student debts, and our car loans is basically what we're dealing with right now because everything else has been checked off already. You guys were killing it. But even so, it still feels as though we're living paycheck to paycheck, even though we technically wouldn't need to. But we're doing that so that we can have the financial freedom. If you haven't already, if you're averaging even poverty level incomes 20K, you'll reach it. Right. 250K a year or month. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure everyone would like to have 250K a month. Okay, I'm okay watching you in my hospital bed. Should get to go home today, though. Oh my gosh, that would probably feel so nice to just be in your own home, girl. I'm here for you. Love you. Survival mode keeps you from thriving because you're too focused on your lack. Yes, I agree for the most part, but there is something about survival mode that makes it much more, sometimes I feel like, powerful. For me, things shifted when my mom separated from my dad. I didn't really learn how to handle money until I got my first serving job in 2015. I can't even get out of debt right now. That's where I'm at currently. I can't say anything more without sounding like I'm whining. You're not whining, it's just the truth, you know. Yeah, money mindset is something that I take very seriously, and I never ever did. I was always just like, I'm just gonna live paycheck to paycheck, and if I make a little bit more than that, great. And then that's just my destiny. That's just my, like, that's it. And being surrounded in a day job with people who are so ambitious and so well off has really opened up my mindset to seeing like what I deserve and how I can get it. And just talking with some of these people, like, what do you do? And things like that. So anyways, day job money. Fuck. This is not where I thought we were going to go for this live stream. Let's just talk for a second about the book because I don't really have much to say because it's pretty similar to, I'm frustrated. I would love to get a realtor's broker's license in Colorado and I can't even do that right now. I can't afford the $400 to do the basic package and coursework. Yeah, let's talk about the book. Okay, so this live stream is finishing Out of Your Hands by Valletta Greenaway. We had so much fun at the first live stream, going through everything and talking about our lines. Everybody was so cool in the Facebook group and shared their hands in the pictures so everybody could like compare, because that was one of my biggest things that I had a hard time with, was that I was doing some of these and if there wasn't like pictures, if there wasn't diagrams, which there's not a lot of diagrams for the rest of the book, and I was very frustrated. I had nothing to compare it to know like, okay, I think this is like a middle, or I think this is a cross. I don't know. Like, what does somebody else's hand look like? So by doing that, I think that really helped seeing everybody's hands in the Facebook group, although it was probably really creepy for those people who have just joined the Facebook group and don't know that we're studying palmistry, and it's just like a feed of hand pics. We joked about it on the Speaking of Which episode from last week. There's a new episode coming out today. If you guys listened to last week's and you know my like weird story about this guy asking for nudes, that's all I'll say. You're gonna want to hear this week's episode today because there's a conclusion and it is fucking hilarious. But I really, the second half of this book is all about fingers and the phalanges. The phalange, the wing. The plane doesn't even have a phalange. Oh my god, I love the podcast and I cannot wait to hear it. Girl, Kendall, it is... Okay, it keeps disconnecting me, but we're here. Again, I felt like this is a great book. In conclusion, this is a great book for to dip your toe or fingers in the world of palmistry basics. And you know, we really read and we have been reading a lot of basic ass books, and there's nothing wrong with that because it opens up and allows us to have deep conversation on a wide variety of topics, which really makes my Gemini sun very, very happy. However, I think you and me both are craving some deeper, well-rounded and kind of juicier books. And so I'm definitely wanting to incorporate more of those in this year, although we just only had such a limited time before I started to travel to knock a book out of the way. And this was really fun topic that I've never studied before, that a lot of people haven't really studied before. So it did allow us to think about palmistry and to learn some of the basics. However, I would not recommend this book. I was not a fan, and I do thank Wiser Books for sending this to me. And I do not want to insult the author in any way. However, I do want to encourage, if this author makes or writes more books in the future, to keep in mind compassion, I guess. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go that hard on it. I feel like, God, this might be kind of like a lot, but I feel like for someone to claim to do palmistry readings for 30 plus years, which this author does, I think it is really insulting to the reader who is invested in the time that they're taking to break down each of these sections and go into the sections. For example, I'm going to say the lengths of the fingertips, right? So to get everything in and to have it like concise and have it probably the way that the publishing company wanted, there's just little blurbs about each different style or each different section of the hand, and you know, the lengths and things, so you can get a wide variety of like what certain things might mean in correlation to how your hand looks, or reading your hand. But if you go and you break down some of these interpretations, they're really rude. And it's really discouraging for a person who wants to learn about their hands and wants to learn about what it means in palmistry, even if it's a beginning book, for them to have just a 2 sentence line that is really kind of degrading. I'm going to say it. I'm going to go that hard on it because I know that it's worth saying, especially someone who has been giving readings for more than 30 years that this author says. You should know that clients, or I would think, I shouldn't shit on you, but I would think that you would know that people are sensitive and they're doing the best they can, and they, you know, they have their hands, and when they're learning about their hands, if you say that they have, if you say that, I'm trying to find an example. Let me find an example. I mean, it was apparent throughout the whole entire book. It's hard because I know that you guys are like commenting and I'm just trying to find something quick. And I'm not saying that everything needs to be sunshine and rainbows. I just think that there's, if you're going to give only 2 sentences to describe a certain part of a finger or a certain part of the palm or whatever, and you have 2 sentences to give a summary on something, which is fine if that's the way that the format of the book is. I just feel like there's, like, that there might have been like a, I didn't like the wording, and I think a lot of it came across as very harsh and very rude when you could, like, the author could have said the same exact things but worded it in a more digestible way for the reader. Because look at, if I'm sitting here and I'm going and I'm breaking down my hand, and this didn't happen too much for me, so I'm not like personally offended, but I'm sure that the people who are sitting here and saying, you know, oh, wait, let me take a look at my hand. Let's see if, oh my God, I'm trying to find an example, but I'm like not reading very well because I'm so tired. Downward branches, talking about the lines on the hands, downward branches. If there are quite a few of these, a series of disappointments and quarrels could often occur for the person. These, however, are usually short-lived. That was nice, right? But then, oh my God, you guys, I should have marked some of these so I could give you examples. There's a lot, and we talked about it last live stream, okay? Just trust me. Crosses, not a good omen, as the owners will be prone to bad luck and upsets throughout their life. These folks need to take great care to do everything properly, as they can soon find themselves in a muddle through lack of forethought. If I have a cross on my hand, I'm going to go, what? Bad omen? Shit. And all I have is these 2 sentences to get me through what that means or how I can move through positively? Like, I don't know. Does anybody else agree? What the fuck? I missed out on this one. Do you have a good one to recommend to learn astrology? I really want to learn how to read my own chart. Oh, Awakened Grace. Yes, I do. There are a lot of great people out there that do intro or how to read your natal chart and break down astrology. We did do astrology in this book club. And without committing myself to this, I am trying to plan a course through my website that you can take that's really, really easy and gives a lot of content, worksheets, meditations, things like that is in the works. However, I can't guarantee that's coming anytime soon. But we did go and break down everything with the book, the only astrology book you'll ever need. If you go to my page and you go under playlists, you find the Witchy Book Club playlist and find the astrology live streams. They're very long. It's a lot of content, but we go over so much and it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to start. That's what I recommend. I felt the writer needed more fact. Sweet. Yeah, that sounds amazing. And thank you. I don't want to like put things out there. I hate when I commit myself to things and then if it doesn't happen for a while, people are like, I thought you were doing this. I am. It's planning. I have like breakdowns, but getting it all together, I don't know how long it's going to take. So I will then have free content online about learning astrology and a course that is much more professional, and that is hopefully going to give a lot for people. But that is a goal for 2020. So let's just see. A grill. These folks have difficulty in keeping friends or relationships, and they may need help in becoming good parents. If you have a grill mark on your hand for the Jupiter finger and you're a parent, that is so triggering. Like, that is basically telling you that you might need help becoming a good parent. And if you already have children, like, instead the author could have said something like, these folks might struggle with parenting, or this, you know what I mean? Like, the author's choice in words, and I know that they might have been encouraged to keep it short and minimal. However, if you're going to do that, you really have to choose your words wisely, because somebody who is a parent, or maybe is going through, you know, just a bad breakup, but had a really wonderful, loving relationship, and they chose to part ways, and they're looking at their hands trying to learn, you know, palmistry, and it's these folks have difficulties in keeping friends or relationships, and they may need help in becoming good parents. That is a lot. I'm not a fan of that. The other gripe I have about this book, even though it's not bad, like I said, if you want to dip your toe in, if you just want to crack the spine of palmistry and really like start to learn how to look at your hands and look at the lines and think about the shapes of your fingers, this is a good way to just kind of open up to that. This is kind of like the review I've literally given for the last 5 books that we've done, so I'm getting sick of this, but I really like to have an array of topics that we talk about, so this is kind of like a... What is happening? What is happening? Okay, here's the deal, guys. I don't have much to say about the rest of this book other than if you want to dip your toe into this book, if you want to dip your toe into palmistry, this is not an awful way to go. However, you have to have thick skin if you come across some of this wording and not take it personally and use it the way that you want to use it to further your own studies in other avenues, whether it is other books, whether it is videos, whether it is Pinterest diagrams, which I went to most of the time. But this book ends literally suddenly with no ending, no conclusion. We're talking about the color of the hands, and then it just fucking ends. Hello? Hello? Like, no in conclusion, no if you want to, like, nothing. It is literally like a very, very basic book that was nice for us to explore in the first live stream. I guess in this live stream, we're talking about business because I just didn't have much else to say about this. And you know what? It is what it is. And I was happy to hang out and talk and see your guys' hands. So that's that. Now, moving on, and I think we're going to wrap this live stream for today. I wanted to do another fiction book. I have been trying so hard, and you guys gave me a wonderful selections in the Facebook group. And I was going through all of them, trying to find one. My goal was to find a fiction book that was spiritual based or witchy based or, you know, mythology based or something along those lines that is a one and done, that isn't a part of a series. However, I was having a hard time finding those and feeling like they were going to be juicy enough, or like I was going to feel inspired enough by them. And so finally I was deciding on this book, The Mists of Avalon. So I went live into the Witchy Facebook group and talked about this because it is a very big read. And I was saying how today I wanted to announce this as the book. And I was going to assign a lot of reading for this. If you guys didn't feel like you could get through it while I was away, I mean, there was going to be like over a month where we were going to read this book. So there was going to be a lot of time to read it, or I was going to suggest going on Audible if you couldn't like have enough time to read it. And there were multiple people in the comments that told me really awful things about this author, which made me really sad. I still really want to read this book. My mom is here now. This is her favorite book. This was out everywhere as I was growing up, and I do feel like the storyline is something that I really would like. However, I can't in good conscience, I can't recommend this book anymore for Witchy Book Club. I feel like knowing what I know now about some of the things that occurred with the author and the author's child, if you just go online quickly and type this author's name, you'll see the articles. Or if you go over to the Facebook page and kind of read some of the things that were posted in my live stream, you'll know why I don't feel like describing it, because I don't like that. Yeah, Mom, sorry. I really am quite pissed because I've always wanted to read this book, and I still think for my own personal practice I might read it, but I can't recommend it for book club anymore. I just can't sit here and recommend a book when I know that there's some really, really awful things that have occurred with the author. So if you saw my live stream in the Witchy Book Club, yeah, like even seeing that, I can't. Nope. Can't do it. So it keeps kicking me out. Damn it. I don't know why either, because I have quite a few bars. So with that, I spent a lot of time trying to pick this book, and I was really, really excited about it. And I was so sure that this was going to be the book that I do not have another book to announce yet. I'm going to do everything that I can to, yeah, I know Victoria's explaining it in the comments, and thank you for explaining that. It's making it very difficult for me to, I'm just so disgusted by even that being something that is, Practical Magic is a great book. Ooh, we could do Practical Magic. That might be fun. Kendall might save the day. I'm going to try to pick a book and announce it as soon as I can before I leave, so that we can pick the date for the live stream and that you guys can get it and read it, because I'll either be assigning the entire book or most of the book, because I'm going to be away for so long. We might as well take advantage of that and have like a lot of reading. So I'm going to try really hard to have a book picked. I thought I had a book to pick for us. I thought I was going to have a very ambitious read for us all, and it was going to be The Mists of Avalon. If you still want to read this book on your own and now you're interested and you look up the book and what it's about and you really want to read it, that's up to you. That's totally cool. I think I still might do that. But it's going to be hard for me to kind of like separate that now that I read some of those articles and just, no. So I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to try. And it looks like people want to read Practical Magic. That might be cool. Okay, someone's saying this is old news. I'm sorry that I didn't know that. But thank you so much for educating us, Victoria. Hold on one second. Hocus Pocus and all the new sequel is good. Ooh, okay. Yes, it's old news. No way to prove it, but when your own daughter is saying, yeah, it happened. It's quite a controversy a couple years ago in book groups. I second Practical Magic. It's definitely quite witchy. Sammy, it's fine. You didn't know. But I think that it's important now that I do know, even if it's, even if I can't be certain whether it did or didn't happen, just the fact that this book is surrounded by that sort of energy or that sort of like articles and things like that, I can't in good conscience like recommend this book and talk about it without acknowledging that, and I think that that's something that I don't want to support. Again, if you just want to read the book on your own, that's cool. But as someone who's running a book club, I can't feel good about recommending this book now. So I need to find a new one. And I'm really glad that I went live in the book club and people told me about that, because I would have probably just announced it, people would have bought the book and thought we were doing it, and then I'm grateful that my intuition told me to go live in the Facebook group first and like talk to people about this book. So yeah, Jamie, Practical Magic is great, and so is the prequel book about ants, Rules of Magic. Okay, mail it back to me. The story is still beautifully written. I will separate her from this book and still love it. That's cool, but I'm gonna keep it. There's a prequel, yay, another book I have to get. But I stand with you in your decisions. The Rules of Magic, love it. Okay, anyways, you guys, I don't know what's going on with my connection, so just know I fully planned on announcing that book as our next book. I don't know what the next book is going to be now, because as of last night, this was a decision I was still grappling with. And like, does it matter? Like, it's not about that. It's about the book. It's about the story. This is like a classic and yada yada. It feels like to me that it kind of matters in a public book club like this. So I hope you guys understand and give me a little bit more time to find something. I'm going to try not to be so perfectionist about it and just pick a book so that we have something to read. And I don't know where or how I'll announce it. Maybe I'll make like a little video, or keep a lookout on my Instagram, keep a lookout on the Facebook group. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, go to facebook.com/groups/Witchy Book Club and find us and hang out. I definitely try to keep as up to date in there as I can. So if you guys have suggestions for books, go and put them in the Witchy Book Club, because I probably won't remember what's being recommended here in the live chat because I'm talking and reading. Crud, I forgot the book I was going to tell you about. I will tell you in the comments after the live chat. Yeah, awesome. She loved how they wrote and the script for the movie. I would love a good fiction book to read. And I know, and we had such a good time reading the fiction book we did last year. So I definitely want to find another one. I love fiction so much. So it will happen, guys. And we might just have a book that's a part of a series, and that's that. And so that's it. I think I'm going to get off today because I'm thoroughly drained. But I really liked our little motivational business money talk today. It was kind of a weird way to spend Witchy Book Club talking about the ending of a palmistry book. There just wasn't a lot to say because the content is very personal for each person. So breaking it down, you know, was really fun how we did it in the first half of the live stream. And I encourage you to still finish and kind of chart out your hand, map out your hand, take a look at things, but look into other books as well, because this one definitely will inspire you to continue. And there's some things about this and the way that it was worded, which is a bit problematic to me. However, I'm still grateful for having opened me up to the world of palmistry, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful, magical day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!